Welcome to the darkness.
Hey everybody, we're back.
Hey.
How
Hello.
you guys doing?
Howdy.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. I can't wait for this Mercury retrograde to end. The stress is like right here with everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a bad one. So, yeah, let's just all try not to kill each other during the retrograde and get through it all. You know what I mean? It's like everybody I know is stressed out, anxiety. It's just been
Wild.
It's terrible. So, but we have a good show tonight, and Max. Anyway, Max.
I could have done without seeing that.
I know, right? So we are going to talk about experiments that have gone wrong, and we're talking about experiments done on our troops, experiments done on American people, experiments that they've used us for as guinea pigs for years, and experiments that have gotten out. Hey, Jess, that has experiments that have gone wrong and gotten out of labs and stuff like that. So it's the more you research in it, and the more they tell you, oh no, that didn't happen, the more you're calling. Yeah, right. I'm sure it's crazy. So
You mean are you implying that the government has been lying to us?
No.
Yeah, no, not at all. Ever.
American government.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
We're here to help. We're from the government. We're here to help.
I'm from the
I don't know
government.
who they're helping.
We're here to help.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre. So actually, I know. Okay, Doc, you've got a really good one. Do you want to? What was your topic that you were looking into?
I've done several topics, but I'm gonna stay with MK Ultra, which was part of a government study, the CIA program. They conducted secret experiments on not only civilians, prisoners, military personnel, just about everybody they can get their hands on. That well, it's not like they could tell anyway. They were doing mind control experiments to fine-tune their interrogation techniques. They would use LSD, other psychoactive substances, and it wouldn't get any consent. They wouldn't let anybody know what they were doing. And the records were deliberately destroyed in 1973. This study gone on from 1953 all the way to 1973. And then as soon as it stopped, they kind of destroyed everything, or they attempted to destroy everything so that, so that they wouldn't get caught. But it wasn't until this program was revealed through a congressional investigation in the 70s.
So this was remote viewing was part of this, right?
Yeah, that was the Men Who Stare at Goats, I think it was.
They
made a movie about it.
Yeah. But this was a bizarre. It had a lot of fingers, like it was doing a lot of different stuff.
They did a lot of stuff, but they got a lot of, and I hate to pull out a positive at it, but they got a lot of information out of that, especially with the mind control stuff. And if you look at some of the CIA files that were released, there are a lot of stuff that they talk about, like materialization and what's that, astral travel, and they learned a lot of stuff through that.
Yeah.
at the
But it
cost
was,
of the American
again, it was
public.
without consent, right?
Yeah,
A lot of these subjects that they were experimenting on didn't have a clue what the heck was going on. And I can't even imagine, like, who in their right mind in any government seat, anywhere, think that that's okay.
Yeah.
I think the problem with that is twofold. Number one, and I've never been in the military. I worked in law enforcement for a lot of years, but I think the military is, and I hate to say it, and I think this is just a feeling that I get because I've had family, have friends, but I think that the problem is they're expendable.
Oh yeah.
And,
we know
So
Yeah.
why not mess with those people and use them as guinea pigs because they're expendable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, being the devil's advocate, if you look at it from a broad perspective, as many people as we have in the United States, as many people as we have on the planet, I mean, is it okay to sacrifice a few for the common good of
No.
the country?
No.
See,
No.
but you've got
No,
see,
because when it becomes you're the one who's being sacrificed,
Right.
that's the thing. It's like it's okay when it's like them being sacrificed, but what
Right.
happens when the table turns and now
And you're the them.
pointing at you?
What happens
Exactly.
if it was just random that they pick people? It's not like they.
No.
I know there's some experiments where they were
I can
actually
think of a
picking.
class of people that they should experiment on, and those are the people who had hurt children.
Yeah.
Prisoners.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
were testing on prisoners.
I mean, I'm talking specifically about people who, you know,
Child
the ones
yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So if you're going to do something like that, okay, we got a whole swath of humanity over here that can't be rehabilitated. But come on, no, I just don't think it's okay. And I'm joking
No.
with that, by the way. I mean,
Okay.
kind of.
Because I was about to
Kind
say,
of.
I mean, we're still picking out
Yeah,
a population.
I am. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate with this because I don't think it, in any respect, is it okay to do this to another human being.
Well,
Nah, I just
no,
don't.
you know what? And I
No.
agree. I'm playing more devil's advocate. But if you look at everything that they took out, I mean, look at all the experiments that they would do on humans during the First World War with Germany and all the information that they got that helped us advance in medical science, that helped us advance in a lot. We're playing ethics against advancement. At the end of the day, yes, it's wrong.
Yeah, it's always okay though when it's against someone else. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like it helped us, so it's okay. I don't think
Yeah, but
anybody should be doing it anywhere.
But and I get it, and I I can see both sides of the quarter on this one, but like Doc is saying, without these advances, we wouldn't be where we are now. And you've got to remember, these advances, they killed stuff like polio, they killed stuff like influenza that people
I
actually
get what
used
you're
to
saying.
die from.
But I'm talking about without consent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no, I
what's
get it.
bothering me.
I get it.
If you want to say, look, we're going to pay you $50,000, but these are the possible side effects, fine. You're going to
Yeah.
have people that sign up for that $50,000 knowing the possible side effects or
Yeah.
not.
Right.
What
No,
could
I get
go
it.
wrong. But without consent, that's
But they've
Yeah.
been, and not that they've been doing it since 1932, that it's okay. But I mean, the government has kind of a history of
I know.
doing experiments on its population, all the
I
way
know.
starting in 1932, and the last one finished in 73. Finished with MK Ultra.
MK Ultra. There's more stuff. So let me tell you, I was gonna bring this one up until if we had time at the end, but I'll go ahead and bring it up. So a buddy of mine retired from the Navy. Oh gosh, I want to say maybe 7 years ago, somewhere in there. And the last set of anthrax shots that he and the ship's company got had something tweaked in it.
Mm.
Anthrax vaccinations have been given for quite a long time, right? Since the Gulf War, they were, like what, 1990, and then it was 2002 or three, something like that, where he was given this one shot, and everybody was getting sick from it, and they went, and not only sick, but they're all 100% disabled now through the VA because it attacked their joints. Some of them went blind, killed some of them. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And it was, I forget who he said it was. I was trying to look this up today. I just didn't have time. But one of our naval officials said, whoa, stop giving the shot. What's going on? Well, it was the company that produced the vaccine that tweaked a component without telling anybody, didn't get approval for it. And now you've got a whole bunch of thousands of shipboard personnel that are now 100% disabled, taking a vaccine that they thought was safe because it has been safe, but theirs was tweaked.
Wow. I mean, even mentioning vaccines that have been recently given out and proven, and there's, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but it's in social media that, and if it's on the internet, it's got to be true. But a lot of it is that all of those vaccines were bogus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, not only bogus, but harmful.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Incredibly harmful because they were not tested. They didn't go through the same rigor that other vaccines go through that are killing people still. Yeah. Even though they've gone through the same rigor, people are still dying from certain vaccines. So, I'm not an anti-vax. A lot of people are completely anti-vax now. I have asthma. I take the flu shot. I get things like that. But I'm like, there's just some stuff that I'm not comfortable with. I don't trust the government as far as I can pick it up and throw it. I just can't. Let me tell you about, actually our buddy, Starfox here, he told me about this, and I had heard about this, but from a different perspective. I never looked into Plum Island. I looked at it from the paranormal aspect years ago, and I kept thinking I've heard about this. Why have I heard about this? And when I started researching, I'm like, oh yeah, because it was the paranormal aspect that I was looking at it, because it's allegedly a very haunted location. But this island, I was gonna find my mouse here. I'm gonna show you where it is. Here we go. Here, can you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plum Island is right here. This is the tip of Long Island. So it's only a mile off Long Island. So they say by helicopter, it's 2 minutes. Just you lift up, you land. I mean, it's right there. Well, this was, and they called it the Animal Disease Center. It was a research center. Mm-hmm. And things went horribly wrong there for a very long time. I think they called it Lab 257, and they did a lot of really crazy things on this island. They were studying with all kinds of diseases on animals, their livestock, and occasionally the island would flood and the animals would wash up on shore on Long Island. And there's pathogens in the tissue because they're studying really nasty things on these animals. And these animals would be washing up. I mean, now they've gone in, it's closed, and I'll tell you where it is now, which is even scarier. Mm-hmm. They went in and did soil sampling, and they found the same pathogens all over the soil of this island.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it's 1 mile away from Long Island. They said it's 121 miles away from Manhattan, downtown Manhattan. So think about the pathogens, the things that have gone wrong here. They said that they frequently, they didn't have any level of containment on these contagions. So you would have people that would go into these livestock pens that they were experimenting with on all these livestock, and they weren't doing any clean. They weren't, even with horses, if I got a sick horse, I have booties that I can put on over my shoes if I have them isolated. So that when I come out of the stall, I throw the booties away, and then I have a Lysol tray that I step through. That's just how you handle a contagious issue with livestock. They would just go in and then come out with their clothes and their boots, and they didn't have anything like Tyvek on, and then go eat or go into the clean rooms. And their lab was completely like the ventilation system wouldn't work. They constantly had spills that they wouldn't clean up properly. I mean, this thing was like a high school experiment. I mean, kids in high school screwing around in the lab. That's what this thing was. But you had the German scientist, his name was Erich Traub, I think is his name. And he was part of the SS, and he was doing studies on ticks. And he did that level of, they were experimenting in Germany for
Lyme disease.
Well, all kinds of nasty stuff to figure out how to use these things to transmit diseases for
biological warfare.
Warfare. But then he comes over to America. This is where he's studying. And then just so happens, 8 miles away in Lyme, Connecticut, all of a sudden here's Lyme disease. And all these children were getting this disease, and they didn't know what it was. They were getting this like arthritis type disease with these poor kids in this little tiny community, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, he's experimenting with all this stuff, and a mile isn't that far for deer to swim, believe it or not. Like deer, and they can go back and forth from this island to the mainland. So they're covered in all these ticks. That because they have no sense of any kind of level A containment on any of this stuff, the pathogens all over the island, the deer come on the island, they're covered. They showed these pictures of the deer that would die because they'd get back to the mainland and they would literally be just absolutely covered in these ticks.
Wow.
It's like, wow, great. So now they've moved it. And guess where they moved it? Kim, my lover, do you know?
Kansas.
Yeah. Right in the middle of dairy and beef country and cropland and everything else. Mm-hmm. And they're saying, oh, this is the most safest thing in the whole wide world. And I want to be sitting in this building. If we had an F5 tornado, there is nothing getting through this building. It's in Kansas. And they're studying like bacteria that can cause foot and mouth disease in cattle. So the cattle industry was literally wiped off the planet in England just in the last few years, twice. They had to destroy every cow over there.
Wow.
And they're studying this in the middle of cattle country. It's like, what in the hell is wrong with you people?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
nothing could go wrong there.
No, nothing can go wrong. Literally, my mind just went when I found that out today because I didn't know. This was 15 years ago. They started building it in Kansas because Plum Island wasn't safe enough. Let's put it in the heartland of America. Alcatraz is a better idea, okay? It is mind-blowing what these people are. I don't understand it.
It's infuriating is what it is. The more I researched, the angrier I got.
I know. I just can't imagine putting something that studies the pathogens that they study that deal specifically with cattle. You okay there, Max?
I know.
My lover's talking about getting all pissed off, and I'm getting pissed off, and things are going on, and.
So apparently there was just all kinds of problems with Plum Island, and they never had any level of oversight. There was never any audits conducted. There was never any, nobody with any sense whatsoever would walk through there and say, whoa, this is supposed to be level A and you guys are eating a sandwich in here. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
None of that.
Or even with the cross-contamination like you were talking about.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. So maybe, hopefully, they have, since they're building this high-tech whiz-bang place that's coming out of our pockets. You know,
I've seen that, my
hopefully
lover.
yeah. Hopefully,
Again, our pocket.
yeah. Hopefully, they've learned some stuff and they're putting huge containment in there, but
Yeah,
probably
well,
not.
Have
It's
you
the government.
have you
It's the
watched
lowest
The
bidder.
Stand? Because The Stand, that movie was brilliantly written.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm sorry, but CDC has problems all the time.
Well, of course.
And when they say that, you know, I don't trust this for nothing. This needs to be like way out on an island, like 20 miles away from mainland or more.
We
Or
could put it
another
on Snake
country.
Island. Can put it on Snake Island.
There you go.
You ever
Or
heard of
another
Snake
country.
Island?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Actually, Snake Island is an island, and I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's been overrun with snakes, and you actually have to be whatever rate you have to be to go on, because whatever snakes are out there, you know, they don't just kiss and tell. They kiss and kill, and I think that I'm going to say that
That's got to be off Australia then, right? Because everything in Australia.
I don't know. Maybe somebody in the comments, Jess, if you're still there, can you Google Snake Island?
So the lab, they absolutely deny that they were studying Lyme disease, like the official word. So it was under now they're under Department of Homeland Security, like this facility, right? It was, I don't know, let's see, now it's under Homeland Security, but it wasn't until 9/11. And then before, you know, now that they're in Kansas, but before they moved, there was actually an Al-Qaeda operative who was sent to, I don't know if they were supposed to bomb the island or what, but they were supposed to. Huh? What? My lover?
Yeah, the take it out. I read that earlier.
To release everything. Like somehow release all the contagions and everything that they had in there.
Wow.
That they were supposed
I mean,
to
what a perfect way to attack the United States.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my truck.
What a
That's your
perfect
truck,
way to
because my
attack the
truck's
United
in the
States than to cause chaos within and release all these pathogens and
Well, yeah, if you think about that, think about, you know, look at it this way. Why would you want to blow something up that you want to inhabit?
Yeah.
You know, why reinvent the wheel? So if you can go through and put some pathogen out there and knock all the citizenry off. Sorry, there's something going on over here and they keep catching my attention. I feel like a cat with a laser. But anyway, I mean, yeah. And then just clean the pathogen up, send your people in. Who cares if you kill 10,000 of your own people, because you're going into a turnkey place, you know?
So all of this stuff, the premise has been brought up to me that maybe this is a form of population control. Like maybe the government really wants this stuff to get out there, and that has been said of COVID.
That has been proven that they've talked about that population.
Yes.
Control.
Yeah, that was a way to.
I mean, isn't the person that was talking about it have the patent on all the? I think he has a patent on the actual COVID virus, and is a major funding source for all the jabs.
Yeah. So I don't know the whole. Nothing fires me up more than thinking about the government screwing around with us. I mean, we know that they do already, but doing something to our bodies without our consent.
Agreed. Well, you know, and so you talk about that. I mean, think about it. AIDS, AIDS was supposed to be population control. Legionnaire's disease was
Crack.
supposed to be uh, the poisoning of all the poultry.
Oh,
That was supposed to be, and people are like, oh no,
Mad cow
maybe
disease was also
yeah,
on that list.
exactly. And the bad thing about it is there's some people that are always going to say, oh no, our government wouldn't do that to us. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Our government will steal your wallet and help you look for it,
yeah, that's right.
and you'll never find it.
You
We
know,
talked a little bit. Go ahead, Doc.
going on back to MK Ultra. I mean, if they were doing these experiments on university kids, people in the hospital, psychiatric institutions, all our prisons, military facilities, and private research labs, there's nothing they won't do. There's
Nothing
nobody
is-
Right.
that it's excluded
No.
except maybe the high ups in the military and themselves.
Oh yeah, they're going to protect themselves for darn
Oh,
sure.
Absolutely.
So we talked a little bit. I guess it was offline after our show last week, and I brought up the Tuskegee experiment, right? And
Oh, yeah.
it was black sharecroppers in Alabama. They were told they were receiving a treatment for bad blood, and it was 600 people that they injected with syphilis. Can you believe that? I just
Wow.
blows my mind that they would do something so nefarious. And they showed pictures of the medical personnel smiling as they're shoving the needle into some guy's arm. And the study continued for 40 years. 40 years they did this to those
But they
people.
targeted a specific,
Yes, they did.
a specific demographic. It was
they did.
black men in
Yes.
Alabama.
They didn't give them placebos. None of them got
No,
real treatment.
absolutely not.
So 15 years into the experiment, they realized that penicillin actually would help him, but they wouldn't give any of them penicillin.
Of course.
Because
And
they
so
wanted
then
to
you
see
had
what would
babies
happen.
born with this. 200 of those people died because of it.
Wow.
I just blows my mind that we would do something that horrific to people.
How many divorces do you think they caused out
Oh
of
my
all of
God, I
that?
can't even
I
imagine.
couldn't even imagine.
It's so okay, maybe I misspoke. 28 men died directly from syphilis. 100 or more died from complications. 40 wives were infected, and 19 children were born with congenital syphilis.
Wow.
I can't. It's like, what is happening? The more you read into this stuff, if you just Google like,
If you look at the timeline, on this, it started in 1932 for the Tuskegee syphilis study.
Right.
And it wasn't until 1953 that they did the MK Ultra. They figured, you know what? We already started. Oh well,
Just keep going.
let's just keep going.
Well,
we got.
I heard, and I don't know. I didn't look this up. I didn't look this up again, but I heard that we experiment on our own troops with mustard gas.
They did that.
There's the human radiation experiment that they did during and after World War II from 1940 to 1970. They were U.S. agencies exposed thousands of people, hospital patients, prisoners, soldiers, pregnant women, and children to radiation and radioactive substances without informed consent. And these experiments were all tied to nuclear weapon research. This was during the Cold War. They wanted to see what's going to happen to us if we get nuked. So let's just nuke our own people and we'll figure it out.
Is there any wonder that any of us were born at all? Because God, it's like they just wanted to wipe out the whole U.S.
Hey,
1950, they did Operation Sea Spray. The U.S. Navy released a bacteria over San Francisco. They did that in order to study how biological agents might spread into a city.
Again,
Yeah, it's like, really? Yeah, and this is in 1950, and it wasn't until decades later that the military apologized and actually admitted to it.
Yeah, what did
They're,
they say?
they're,
My bad. My bad.
yeah,
Don't trip.
yeah.
My bad.
Sorry about that, Frisco.
So-
And that wasn't it. I mean, they keep going. You had Project 111 or 11-2, Project 112. Yeah, it probably sounds better. 112. In 1960, they also called it SHAD. This was the Department of Defense using chemical and biological weapons. They exposed all U.S. I added the all U.S. service members, often without their knowledge, nerve agents and other dangerous substances. Veterans later experienced long-term effects, struggling for recognition and care because the program was classified. So even after they got out of the military and were suffering and sick, they didn't get help because it was classified.
You're not
The
sick.
VA wouldn't approve any benefits. Go figure.
Can you imagine that? You're not sick.
Colleen,
My
you're getting
own
pissed.
dog.
I can see it in you.
Yeah. Oh, you're not sick. You're fine. Years ago, I had a sergeant, and one of his famous lines, his name was Touchdown Tommy, and I won't give the last name because I don't know if he's dead or alive. But he would say, "I trust two people in the world. That's you and me, and I'm not really sure about you." So I can imagine, take that to the extent, and there's been people for how many years now saying, "Oh, I don't trust the government." And what do they say about those people? "Oh, he's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't trust the government. I don't worry about him. He's nuts." Yeah, exactly.
Conspiracy theorist. You're labeled.
And,
Yeah.
and then you come out and find out that, holy cow, this dude, he knew what was up.
Yeah.
And if you say enough of that stuff, you're going to start showing up on reports, and people are going to come and talk to you. And yeah, it's interesting stuff.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, well,
Oh, did I say that out loud again? Yeah.
Jim Carrey. I don't think that's Jim Carrey anymore. Have you seen the pictures?
Absolutely not. No, it's not. No.
dude looks like the Joker.
Yeah,
I know,
he's
it's
got
like,
different
what-
colored eyes and he's left-handed now, really.
What do you think's going on with that? You think he
I mean,
died? He put in a-
in the last decade, he's been talking
Mhm.
about the cabal. He's been talking about the elites, eating babies, drinking blood. And, it's just been, I guess, this last time when he came out, this new Jim Carrey, he
Be
was
careful
very
what you say,
cordial and
Doc.
happy,
We're
and
live.
he didn't talk about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, getting back to all of this stuff. So I remember when I was in boot camp, the big thing was to tell them you were allergic to eggs so they wouldn't give you all the shots. So lo and behold, every single one of us in our ship was allergic to eggs, and they're like, "Oh, come on!" And we're like, "Hey, we're allergic to eggs." And we'd be eating eggs in the galley like crazy, Yeah, I don't know.
And that's bad when you have to. I mean, seriously, that's bad when you have to say, "No, man, I can't eat eggs." Full well knowing you can, but knowing that the other side, that you're going to get all of this, this whole regime of medications that are going to react with your body.
Yeah.
No, I can't, and it's horrible. And like I said, we have used our military as the guinea pigs. Oh, well, let's try doing this, or let's just do that, or I have my own feelings about people that should be used on, right? And whatever. But as I'm getting a lot older, I start to see things a lot differently anymore. And the stuff that we've taken for granted, and the stuff that growing up where I grew up, the government was right. My folks were like, yeah, you know what? Don't worry about it. They know what they're doing. Well, I guess they weren't.
Even not too long ago, we were raised to believe that the United States government was the only government that wasn't corrupt,
Yeah.
that they were right on, that it was every other government that was horrid and crooked and that was back when everybody was still standing up and doing the Pledge of Allegiance in class,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was
You want
still
to
falling
believe
in
that,
order.
Rock. You want to believe that the allegiance you're
Yeah,
pledging to is got your back 100%, and they're there to protect you, and then you
and
grow up and you go, oh my God.
it's only been what, a decade and a half that it is now common knowledge that the government and just about everybody is lying to you. You can't trust the media, as or else apparently they're all lying to you. It's we've been indoctrinated not to believe anybody anymore, and it seems like we're so divided that you have, if not more than half the population, or half the population that does not believe the media, does not believe anything the government is saying, and you have the other side that blindly follows, and everybody should do exactly what the government says. And
I liked Reagan's philosophy because he said, trust but verify.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
you have
Love
to have
Reagan.
some level of faith in your officials. You have to, or else,
Right.
my God,
You
just
wish you could. Yeah.
But verify everything they say. I don't. At
Yeah,
this
but what source do you verify through?
I don't know. I just did a FOIA request for our town to see if something was on the level. Haven't gotten anything back yet, but they only have 28 days, so we'll see what happens. But I just don't. I don't know. All of it is so spooky to me anymore, and
Yeah.
I have. I don't want to get political on the show, but it's all very, very spooky to me. And the fact that they're probably still doing this, but they've learned how to lie better,
Mm-hmm.
and how to cover it up better, and how to fabricate a story better. That's what bothers me.
Well, they use that term hide in plain sight all the time.
Yeah.
And these, back in the day, right? You just didn't say anything because you didn't. That's just the way it was. And now you're right. I think they do a lot more stuff clandestine right in front of us.
Yeah.
And I think that I think sometimes we're just we're just blind. We're just a bunch of, we just follow. We're sheeps. We're sheep. What do they call them? Sheeple. They're sheeple. And some of us, but when they say, you got to be the sheepdog. Well, unfortunately, sometimes the sheepdog is the one that gets hurt first. The sheeple. And if they just want to blindly, because that's what they want. They don't want people to ask questions, right? They don't want people to have any knowledge, and it's unfortunate. They're only going to let us know what we know, and I think that we don't need to know everything. I think we need to be aware of a lot of things that go on.
Yeah, I don't want to know everything because I wouldn't be able to sleep. I have a hard time sleeping already. I don't think I'd want to know everything that's going on. Like a lot of people said, how come they don't tell us about every terrorist attack that they thwart? I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Just keep thwarting them, man. Just keep stopping them and squashing them. But I don't really want to know because, it makes you, and that's what terrorism's all about, right? They don't want you to leave the house. They want you, they want to completely control you by fear. So not telling us is the best,
Yeah. Well, I can imagine that folks, so many things on that along that line, hopefully they've thwarted a bunch of stuff. But I'll bet you money that we've actually unknowingly walked into certain places, and that was the place that shit was going to happen. I don't know how many times I've been around somebody that had bad intentions. I don't know. Unfortunately, I have not been in that area when things have happened. I don't know. But I think that we need to be very aware of our situation. We need to all have situational awareness, especially right now. We can't take things for granted. We need to be aware of what in the heck's going on around us.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
So
and it's just one of those things.
I just threw this into ChatGPT. I wanted to see how it answered. So, do you think that the government's still experimenting words on us now without our consent? And
How's that English? How's that English for a first language coming?
So, and ChatGPT said no, because there's congressional oversight. And I'm like what's going on in Minnesota? That
Wow.
Right?
like
That
all
kind
of
of
our
stuff.
money?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where you fall back on that blindly believing, Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we need to train ChatGPT a little bit more, guys, because it locked into that lock, stock, and barrel. Oh no, certainly not. Everything is above board now. Like,
that one's owned by the government.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Colleen's lights are going to start dimming here in just a
I
second.
know, pretty soon.
Well, I got kicked off a minute ago. So.
See.
Yeah,
and it's funny that you say that. If you go to Alexa or ask Google, you used to ask because I would do this all the time, and Mother would get all pissed off. But I would say, okay, Alexa, when is the day that the robots are going to overtake? And there was a date that she would say, and now she doesn't say that anymore
because it's already happening.
Yeah, it is. It's happening. So you talk about that kind of stuff. Now, granted, I'm sure with my job, they could do what they could robot. They could, however, do my job, whatever. And I can see that going away. I can't see regular stuff going away, but if the government was able to take us over and make us all sheeple, think about what we talked about. If we right.
I'm trying so hard not to get political with this.
I know, but think about what we talked about. Think about what we talked about last night.
We are discussing the government, though. I mean,
I know.
It's one of those things.
The problem is, there's a huge segment of the society that believe the government are truly out to help us. They have our best interest in heart, and they believe that we need to give them more and more control. And then there's another part of this segment of the society going, are you out of your mind?
Right.
Look what they're capable of doing. No, back off. Leave me alone. Stay away from me. Don't tell me what I have to put into my body. Don't jab me. Don't do this.
Right.
So you have this opposing view in America. And like you talked about, Doc, we're so incredibly divided. I hear my libertarian friends over here talking about, they absolutely trust no one. No government in their life. And it's because of this history.
Yeah,
because of this
exactly.
history. I really don't think that the two parties themselves are that far apart, because there's still some level of trust in the government that they have.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the independents, it's the libertarians, it's all of them are going, whoa, back off. That's why we live where we live, right? Because of you trying to keep away from all of that level of control. But yeah, I don't know. I do think that we're going to find in years they're still doing some level of experiments on us somewhere.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, going back to last week's show and talking about.
I don't remember what we talked about last week. What was it?
I don't remember what I had for breakfast, but I know what we talked about last week. We were talking about the Anunnaki and the elites, running into the elites and using people as their workers, and the freedom being under the illusion of freedom, still control, because we all have to work, we all have to pay rent, we all have to work more than one job in order to be able to put bread on the table if not 2 or 3 jobs, nobody can retire anymore because we all have to work in order to pay into this system to live on a planet that we were born on under the illusion that we're free. We're free to pick where we're going to slave away for the rest of our lives. But nevertheless, we are going to slave away.
Yeah.
That's true. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
And
so
what's funny is.
Sorry,
Go
Max.
ahead. No, please go.
Well, I was just thinking if we're getting into this whole level of experiments, and I just can't. I can't buy into chemtrails. What are your thoughts on chemtrails? I heard our counterpart back here go, "Oh, geez." So what do you think? I mean, come on. That's what people are saying, is that they're experimenting on us.
I mean,
large scale.
Are the chemtrails in order to control the weather? And that was one of the... Or the people.
Us.
Or the people. I mean, is it a matter of control? I my own personal opinion, I'm not saying that I don't trust the government because we are on air, but I would kind of fall for that conspiracy theory that
I can't go there. I'm too much of a scientist. I understand vapor trails, so I understand what's going on. But I do.
You don't think they would be able to put something in that?
I don't think it's happening. No. No. It's too. Think about what has to, in order for that to rain down on the population, because you have winds aloft that from minute to minute is changing velocity and direction and everything else. That's a lot of money to.
But if it was just to go into the atmosphere, I mean,
I just can't. Now we did see the clouds. That's a known. We did see the clouds. California did it in the 70s to try to break the drought, and it was pretty successful. So that, I get, but it's incredibly expensive, so they don't do it.
But they don't get they
print more money. They
just print more money. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's always a fight over who's going to pay for things. I mean, clean up hazmat. They won't fund us right now, so they're just hazmat go everywhere.
They're not going to fund hazmat to clean chemicals for the worker people. I mean, of course not. That's I'm going into the real conspiracy where we're all. Let me tone it back and reel myself back in a little bit.
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you bring that up, because Mud Lover and I have spoke about chemtrails for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that
you're cutting out.
Yeah, you are. I thought it was me.
No, it was my work called me. Anyway, and I just declined it. But I think that it's plausible. You talk about winds aloft and everything, and I get that. But okay, so they seed over, say they seed over California, and the winds push it to the Hawaiian Islands. They're still doing it, whether it's true or not.
Well, the cloud seeding, yes, but I mean for population control, for mind control, for all of this other stuff, I don't buy it.
Yeah, that's why they end up putting stuff in our water.
Yeah, that's why we got fluoride in the water. I think they're doing it, but I don't think it's for population or mind control. They've got other means to do that. They've got
definitely.
They've got direct means that people will go and inject into their bodies freely for a hamburger.
Well, and that's funny you bring up hamburger. Have you seen some of this modified meat that they're coming up with?
No thanks. No way.
So then we've talked about, not only that, you have the vegetarian Impossible burgers and that kind of stuff. When they're able to, go ahead.
No, please go. I heard, wait, I say no, but let me cut in anyway. I was hearing, they were saying, look, McDonald's is making 3 billion hamburgers a day.
Yeah.
To serve and whatnot. where are they getting so many cows to serve 3 billion burgers a day?
Well, have you seen
Exactly.
the quarters that come out that is supposed to be a quarter pounder? I mean, come
I
on.
agree. I agree with that 100%. But if you do the math ain't mathing. There isn't enough cows
Right.
on the planet in order to make that many burgers for that many people for that many years.
Well, I don't
over
think
a
they're getting all
decade.
of the beef from America, though. I mean, they're obviously getting Argentina beef and everything else, you know.
And they're also saying that they've found human DNA in it and other
I've
animal
read
DNA.
that. I don't know if it's true. I've read that. I don't.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
now
I mean,
I worked on a farm for a long time, and I do know
Yeah,
that
that's
some
true.
of the inmates, some of the
I know the
inmates that
cemetery.
we had incarcerated would take advantage of some of our bovine, some of our pigs, and that kind of stuff. So, who knows? I've heard of things on farms that go on in different. Who knows? I don't. I don't dis. Yeah, I
Keep
don't
it
know.
clean. We're live, guys. Keep it clean.
Touche. That's all I'll say.
So yeah, I've read that some of the hamburgers in good old Mickey D's was not it has a binder or a filler in it, but nobody can explain what that is.
Yeah.
Is it soybean? I mean, what is it?
Wait, you said it's a binder. Is it a trapper keeper?
With the guy, the basketball guy? Yeah.
The little Velcro?
Folder?
And you forgot the track stars running.
The track stars?
Yeah.
That was wasn't it called a peachy folder?
That was the peachy folder.
Peachy folder, yeah.
Or where Doc's from, it was the pinchy folder.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Hey, I'm so old that we didn't have copy machines. We had mimeographs.
Oh, heck yeah.
Those?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
my
you have
gosh.
you have to crank that thing to get the, yep.
And the smell. The
And the
smell of
smell.
mimeograph machines was incredible.
Oh, God. Oh, the kid, like anybody watching this going, what? What?
What in the
I
heck?
have no clue.
We've gone from our last subject, which I won't repeat, to mimeograph machines. Thank you for that image, Max.
Oh, I can't.
I got you. I always got you.
Yeah. So I do. Yeah. I do think. Well, maybe. I mean, okay. Celeste almost had me convinced about chemtrails one night on our old podcast, Speaking of Spirits, which thank you everybody who's listening to that, because I cannot believe it's like exploding all of a sudden in listenership. I can't believe how many downloads every week. It just keeps growing. And we're not even doing the show anymore. It's just out there in space and it's taking off. But she almost had me convinced one night. We were doing this very topic. And I was almost there. And then I went, no, I just can't go there. I'm sorry. I just can't go there. I'm like, I can't.
Well, and you just, sometimes it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, you're right. It's such a slippery slope. And it is. And I think sometimes and I can speak for me personally, sometimes it's easier for me to call BS on something because I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And you get to that point where Mud Lover says, well, we're having broccoli. Oh, I know broccoli is good for me. I know Brussels sprouts are good for me, but I hate them. I hate Brussels sprouts.
Oh, I love them.
See?
So do I.
But I'm not. There goes that comfort. There's that comfort factor again. I'm not comfortable. I will eat them because I'm fortunate enough to have her make me dinner when I'm home. But it's a comfort factor. No, I don't like it, so I'm not uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with it, so I choose not to think that way.
That's almost like the jab.
I'm sorry?
It's almost like the jab.
Exactly. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't want to go that way. So no.
Yeah. And for some people, it may be, they swear by it and they get their jabs, and for whatever reason, Colleen said that she gets it for the flu,
The
was it?
flu, that's it. But I
Yeah.
didn't even get it this year. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm not saying that I'd never gotten them, but that COVID episode, I stood firm, and I'm very happy that that
Yeah, it makes
didn't.
me. It makes it's really really upsetting the amount of censorship that went on around the vaccines for COVID, around COVID, around the mRNA, the amount of extreme censorship that was going on. Like if you said anything out against any of that, you were immediately deplatformed, taken off the air. Facebook was blocking you. I mean, it was like, what the heck is going on? Because we all knew what was going on, but it was insanity. It was a level of control over this country that I don't think anybody has ever seen before. That it was, tribal members were forced to take it. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Wow.
So okay, so talk about that. The folks that the tribal members, that live out on the reservation, those people have historically just been taken advantage of. But if they were forced to take it, would that be an aspect of population control?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going to go there earlier in our discussion, but it got turned another way, so I didn't. But yeah, I was thinking about that.
I know some of the church leaders even were coming out saying, it's safe and it's this and it's that, and I remember hearing that from certain church leaders, and I'm like, well, they are more than welcome to do it.
Yeah, then take it.
More power to them, And
but that goes back to who do you trust,
right?
And what did Reagan say? Trust but verify. So who do you trust at that point?
I think it's up to the individual. It has. I
think it is. It's got to be something that we all have to make that decision for ourselves.
Yeah. But then people were publicly shamed if you weren't taking it.
If
you weren't going to wear a mask, or publicly shaming someone who did wear a mask. I mean, still today I see people driving alone in the car with their mask on, and I'm like, okay.
I've seen people swimming with a mask on, and okay.
Yeah. So
that makes a whole lot of sense,
right? Yeah.
So I I have such a hard time with all of this because no matter where you land on the subject, there's no, you don't feel good about any of it.
Yeah. No, you don't.
No.
So
unfortunately, we're extremists on all ends. That's the bad part. And people pushing their opinions and their views with no verification, and it should fall on every individual to make their own informed decision, and that's what it should be. Unfortunately, that never happened.
Well, and like I said, we have been brought up to, unfortunately or fortunately or whatever your thought is, a lot of people have blind trust. And that's what happens, and it's unfortunate that we go that route.
Yeah. Before we're over here for the show, I wanted to thank everybody who's been following and watching. Thank you. We finally hit the monetization mark. We have our store is up on YouTube, so we have a lot of different merch that's up there. So please check that out. We have. So if you see ads, please watch the ads all the way through them because
that is me.
That's kind of creepy.
It's kind of creepy. Expecting a doll to show up.
Yeah.
My first thought was, My first thought was is that tiptoe through the tulips?
Oh my God, no! I'm alone. No.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, watch if you're watching YouTube and an ad shows up from the whoever content that you're watching, watch the ad because
Right.
it monetizes them, guys. It gives
It
them
helps
money in
us,
their pocket.
yeah.
It helps them make more content. So anyway, we've hit the hour mark. We're going to come at you next week. I'm going to pitch a topic to the crew, and we'll see if they want to take it. And otherwise, retrograde is almost over. Hang in there. Next week, or the 20th, it's over. So things will start to lighten up because this has been a really intense past few weeks with this. So damn Mercury does it to us all the time. Anyway, bye everybody. See
Good
you
night. Safe
Peace.
travels.